A month before the New Year's Eve last year, I decided to hashtag get my shit together again in the gym to get back my foundation of strength, agility, and endurance that I had before the start of the pandemic. So I bought Natacha Oceane's Restart program. By 2020, I've been a gym goer for about 5 years. The bulk of my experience has been in bodybuilding, but I also tried a few other styles of training, including Olympic weightlifting, along the way. So by the time I got to Natacha Oceane's Restart, it was far from being my first program. But by the end of 2021, after a few semi-successful attempts of getting my routine back together, I decided to finally invest some coin into it to just, make it legit. If you clicked on this video, then you probably also watched Natacha's channel. She is one of my favorite YouTubers. I love watching her videos, and she's one of the very few people in the Fitfluencer community whose program I would trust buying because of how strong and knowledgeable Natacha is and just how much integrity she has. But spoiler alert, I did not finish the program, and I'll tell you why. Before we dive into that, let's look at the program itself and what it promises to deliver. The PDF that comes together with the program itself says the following about its goals. I'm just going to read it right now. My number one goal for Restart is to make getting back to a consistent, healthy routine feel exciting and totally doable. She then says, we'll be advancing in terms of the exercises, training volume, and training styles we're using, so that we're not overwhelming the body at the start, but you're strong and well-rounded by the end. Overall, the PDF is actually really nicely designed. It looks very pretty, and there's quite a lot of helpful information there to get started. Just a bit of theory about exercising and a little bit on nutrition. And Natacha overall focuses on 5 different aspects of training. So functional hypertrophy, aka building muscle, strength, so just how strong you are, plyo, so how explosive you are, HIIT, so your cardio ability, and number 5 is skills. So skills is a very kind of generic term for what she means by just general well-roundedness in the gym, being able to not just lift weights in a very strict manner that weightlifting normally is, but just to be able to move your body around and actually apply the strength that you gained in the gym to your real life. The actual sequence of moves is delivered through the Athlete app, which I actually have pulled up here with the program itself, where you can view the video of the movement as well as track your progress, so the weights and the reps as well. So I'll have this pulled up on the screen for you just to see what it looks like. You start off by having 3 sessions in the first couple of weeks and gradually ramp up to 5 sessions in weeks 6 to 8. And the exercises themselves are designed to be high volume, with some workouts having a cardio/HIIT component. But there are a lot of new and unconventional movements. Keeps you curious and motivated whilst you're exercising because you're always learning something new. So let me walk you through a typical workout from, let's say, week 4, day 1, lower body. We've got 8 exercises, as I said, 1.5 rep squats, double kettlebell swing, jumping pulsing lunges, step up and knee drive, and oh my god, listen to this. Kettlebell rack fold, kettlebell rack hold, rear foot elevated, I can't even say it. Oh my god, but just look at the exercise. It didn't need to be named so long. Anyways, I found that hilarious. Curtsy lunge, side steps with resistance band, and sprints. I would like absolutely die after this workout, but you know what? One thing I found is that I actually had pretty good endurance even after maybe 4 weeks of the program. So yeah. However, there are a few drawbacks here which I'm sure you started figuring out for yourself. In her promotional videos, Natacha talks about how on average the workouts from her programs take her about an hour to complete. Now, I know that Natacha is very strong and has great endurance, but it's actually not humanly possible to complete any of the workouts that she has in the program in an hour. And trust me, I've tried. I took shorter breaks, sometimes no breaks at all. I skipped on my water breaks and just tried to move through the exercises quickly. But at the end of the day, when your workout consists of 8 to 9 movements that are in high rep ranges, like 8 to 16, it's just not possible to complete all of that in an hour. I think it's only possible if you count the time actually just doing the moves themselves, but we all know that exercising doesn't work that way. So by the end of it, it always took me about an hour 15 to an hour and a half to actually finish the workout. And this is where we get to the first drawback of the program, and it's the time commitment required to actually complete it. So if you just do some quick maths.
-1, that's 3 quick maths.
You start off from exercising 4.5 hours in a week to 7.5 hours by the end of week 8. And I don't know about you guys, but I work 10 hours a day, so it's just mildly questionable for me to be able to stick to a routine like this. And I think this is just a major flaw of the program altogether, considering Natacha's audience on YouTube, who are probably, young professionals and students who, similar to me, have very busy schedules and just social lives to get on with. So I just found it unrealistic that the program would require you to do so many movements in just a single workout. So you can kind of see that if we go back to Natacha's #1 goal of making going back to a consistent routine totally doable, that goal starts falling apart pretty quickly. Even though in her promotional videos she says that, you can adapt the workouts to your own life.
If you have to cut a workout short or take a workout out or increase the whole length of the program, then whatever you have to do to make it work into your schedule, that's the most important thing.
While I understand the premise of that, I just feel like this raises the question of value for money for me. The whole point of buying a program in the first place is not having to think about composing your own. When I invest a good amount of money, and I think I paid around 30 quid for this, which is probably, at this exchange rate it's not that much, but I think at the time would have been around $50 or so. $50 for a workout program that you have to adjust to also just sit down and spend some time figuring it out for yourself. I think it's not very good value for money personally. So at the end of the day, if Natacha has to make that disclaimer, then she would have heard the feedback in the first place. She would have heard people saying this is just unrealistic. I think the simplest thing that could have been done is just create like 3 versions of the same program. Maybe one that is just as it is, then like a medium version of like 10 weeks and then another version of 14 weeks. So that people have a bit more variety and they're able to just sort of pick the one that works best for them. Then at that point, they don't actually have to think about, am I completing the workout correctly? Am I gonna get the same results as the program promises just because I'm not doing it in exactly the same way as it's written out? So in that sense, I wish that it was more flexible. My last complaint about the program is actually not about the program, it's about the app on which it's hosted, Athlete. And the truth of the matter is that as nice as it is to be able to watch the videos, the app is just incredibly buggy. Like, the thing will log you out when you don't have like a tiny bit of Wi-Fi, even if you download all of the videos to your exercises. which is extremely annoying because then you have to remember the password, etc. Then it would just not reset your exercise weights when you want to rerun the program again or redo the same workout. It's just so clunky, and it just, diminishes the experience by that little bit. So with all the problems that I've just described, would I still recommend buying the program? The answer is yes. And there is only one reason for that. It's the quality. So if you pay attention to what I've been saying in terms of what the negatives that I find about the program, you'll notice that they're all sort of exogenous factors. But so far, I actually haven't said anything about the program itself. And for me, it was worth my money just for the simple fact of how versatile and diverse and new the exercises are. Truly, I just haven't seen any other influencer putting out content that is as interesting as Natacha's, moves that are as new as hers, and that just keep the workout really interesting, keep you motivated and learning something new every time. And for me, that was a good enough factor to consider this a worthwhile purchase, because even for somebody who's been exercising for 5-6 years, I've discovered a lot of new movements for myself, which ultimately sparked that joy of exercising and keep me motivated going back to the gym. So let me list out some of my favorite exercises. Open leg walking lunges. I normally hate lunges, but I love these. They are fire. Then there is half Turkish get up. That's actually a difficult exercise, but it's really fun. Then there are chameleons, and there's also a few other hip moves that I found incredibly fun and challenging. But there is a slight caveat to that as well. Because the moves are so unconventional, Restart or probably any of Natacha's gym-based programs, although I only have Build on hand right now, they probably are not fit for a beginner in the gym. And the reason I say that is because her exercises, although they come with videos, there is actually no explanation as to the technique, so what to pay attention to. Sometimes there are a few notes, but there's not actually a guide through each video as to what are the things that you need to keep in mind to make sure that you're doing the exercise correctly, where you should be feeling the exercise, etc. So if you never go to the gym, if you don't even, you've never tried doing the squat or the deadlift, some of the most fundamental movements in bodybuilding and just weight training in general, then it would be dangerous for you to start from Natacha's Restart or any of her programs, just because you need that foundation to keep yourself away from injuries. I would strongly recommend anyone who's not been to the gym to first spend maybe a couple of months with a personal trainer learning those moves, and then maybe going for Natacha's program. So now let's talk a little bit about the results. Did I accomplish my goals of A, getting back my consistent gym routine, and B, regaining my strength? Well, the short answer is no, I didn't. I struggled to fit the long workouts into my busy daily routine, and as a consequence could not go back to my original strength level. But there is a silver lining to this. Overall, the quality of the movements and their sheer variety impressed me so much that I am just more inspired about going to the gym. And I use the exercises in my own ad hoc workouts, just mix and match them, do whatever I feel like, and keep learning something new. So I suppose there was some use to having 9 exercises in a single workout.
Hi, feature me here editing. I realized that I didn't include any clips of my actual physical progress of the before and after. That's probably because I didn't actually track the progress given I didn't complete the program, but I will include a video of how I looked like when I started the program versus what I look like now or on the day of the recording. I don't know how useful that would be for you because they're not very easy direct comparisons, but yeah, some reference. And my weight stayed the same. My muscle mass probably decreased actually because I'd never fully returned to the gym on a consistent basis, which is what I'm struggling with right now. But yeah, I hope that helps you in whatever way it can.
Wow, but I gotta say, this program is good insofar that like you have so many exercises and on week 3 you get used to the intensity. So I've actually massively increased my work capacity, which is amazing.
Okay, back to the main video now.
Ever since trying Restart, I find myself wanting to explore more of the functional style of training, which I have not been familiar with previously. And I like that I have now an arsenal of movements that I just go back to anytime to figure out what I want to do that particular day and just whip out a program or a workout on the spot. Also, I view it as a way to support Natacha, and I don't regret the purchase, albeit I wish there were some improvements made to it so that you can just use the program as is. So the bottom line with Restart is, if you are tired of your gym routine and you want to try something new, then go ahead and get Restart. But remember, you'll probably have to adjust it to your own life. If you're looking for a program to follow to the T where you don't have to think about it, then you're probably going to be better off considering some other options or consulting a PT to figure out one that works for your own life. And if you are completely new to working out and you've never done any of the fundamental movements of weightlifting, squat, deadlift, overhead press, etc., any one of them, then please spend some time with a personal trainer just to make sure that you avoid injuries when buying a what I would call intermediate to advanced program. So the punchline of my review of Natacha's Oceane Restart program is that it's a great program with not so great structure. But the bottom line for me is that the content beats the structural problems. So let me know what you think about the review and about the program down below in the comments. Did you try it? Has it worked for you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for many more fun videos coming in the future. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye!